the inside. Sample 0 for 3 last night at a sac fly. And Tudor changed his mind. He slipped a bit on that mound, I guess. And the 0-2. Fouled away the changeup. The Cardinals got Tudor along with Brian Harper in a trade with Pittsburgh for outfielder George Hendrick and catcher Steve Barnard. You got to say that wasn't very much tilted in the Cardinals' favor. Those other two players are no longer with Pittsburgh. 0-2. Collegiately, Tudor pitched at Georgia Southern. He has a degree in criminal justice. Whitey Herzog, who's weathered the storm here this year. Cardinals have suffered a lot of injuries, but they've had some poor performances too. That combination will find you out of the pennant race. Of course, take nothing away from the New York Mets, who have won 84 games. A little bit outside on the change. The Giants won their ball game against Montreal today on a wild pitch by Andy McGaffigan. 3-2 was the final. Little pop on the right side. Andy Van Slyke. One down. The Phillies also beat the Dodgers. Steve Bedrosian picked up his 19th save.
Second, number 16, shortstop.
And in a game, boy, you talk about a lot of baseball. Last night, Pete, Toronto and Cleveland rained out, I believe, after 9 innings, tied. Had to play it all over again, so they play a doubleheader. And the first game is won by Toronto. It went 12 innings, 1-0. No, 3-2 rather. There's a bouncer up the middle, should reach, and Ramirez does a single. Rafael Ramirez has been hitting that baseball. He's now hit safely in 8 straight.
Number 3. Center fielder, Dale Murphy.
Toronto is trying to keep pace with the Red Sox and doing a pretty good job of it. Now Dale Murphy. Murphy's hit well since the All-Star break. He's a .283, 24 homers and 68 RBIs. Down low. Here on Monday night, Murphy's double won it for Atlanta, knocked in 2 runs. Last night, several rain delays. The Braves could do nothing with Matthews. Greg Matthews, a very fine-looking young lefty. Outside corner.
A key for most hitters against a pitcher like Tudor or a pitcher like Matthews is not to try to pull him. Trying to pull that thing that breaks away from you, and you're going to hit a lot of ground balls.
Oh, they got him picked off. An easy out. Tudor, who does not have a real great move, but he spotted something in Ramirez, tipping him off. The Raffy was going, and Ramirez almost left before Tudor did anything.
Yeah, I think Ramirez broke too soon here. Tudor threw right over to first. Raphael's well on his way, but a good throw by Van Slyke, and Ramirez tagged out routinely by Ozzie Smith.
So poor base running, and the Braves have 2 outs. 1 ball, 1 strike on Murphy. Fastball missing, 2-1. Well hit toward right center, but it's going to be caught by Morris. Now, in fact, he even comes in a step or 2 and makes the catch. They were playing him rather deep. As Murphy hits the wall field well, and he flies to fairly deep right center. The Braves fail to score. St. Louis coming to bat.
Would you drive around in this if it was underinsured?
What, are you kidding?
And your place here. Would you sleep well if it was half insured?
Not on your life.
That's my point. We've insured you fully on these assets, but not on your life.
Your lifetime earnings are your family's greatest asset. Yet most of us seriously underinsure our lives. Your Aetna agent has a new generation of life insurance programs for the financially astute. Call him.
So, you sorry you met Aetna?
Not on your life.
See what's on the horizon in the fall preview circular from True Value Hardware Stores. A True Guard single-cylinder deadbolt block with 1-inch throw bolt is only $5.77. Get 2 10-packs of hefty cinched sack lawn and leaf bags for just $2.98. Stock up on assorted sizes of Value Bright light bulbs. The 4-pack is only $1.19. And the Snap at 8 outlet strip with grounded receptacles is just $9.88 in the fall preview circular from most True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
3 years ago, Lucite painted my house, part of a nationwide test. Lucite house and trim against 5 other leading brands. This brand is already cracking. This one's even worse. And here's Lucite. Still looks great.
Lucite's exclusive formula resists cracking and peeling much longer, so you don't need to paint as often.
Soon as this test is over with, I'm painting the whole place with Lucite.
Lucite. The paint that lasts and lasts.
Today you see how the Braves line up behind Rick Mailer. The right-hander looking for his 12th win. His last win was against the Padres on August 11th.
Coach of the Cardinals at first, Rich Hacker.
Rich Hacker is the coach at first. Nick Leyva coaches at third for St. Louis. And the leadoff batter is Vince Coleman.
Hitting off number 29, left fielder, Vince Coleman.
Coleman with 87 stolen bases. He's on a pace for 113 stolen bases. Right away, Oberkfell shallows up. A ball inside. You can see Obi. Until 2 strikes are on Coleman, he'll stay right there. 1 ball, no strikes. Coleman had a couple of hits last night. Patented infield hits. He ended up with 3 for the night. That's a bounce to the first, 1 down. Horner handles it. Now Willie McGee. He'll get an ice hand. McGee's been out for some time with a full hamstring. This is his first game back in some time. He's batting .247, 6 homers and 40 RBI.
And when you talked about players not having good years, here's a guy who's not having a good year. He's hitting over 100 points below what he hit last year when he led the league at .353.
Switch hitter, batting lefty. And he hasn't stolen that many bases this year for a Willie McGee. He's stolen 12, been caught 11 times, and that's not a good percentage for him. They've fought through some slumps here and some injuries, a lot of key injuries. Jack Clark's been out since June, and he leads the ball club in homers with 9. They've only hit 40. Clark is a real big loss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pass third. That'll end up a double. Willie McGee with a double just inside the bag.
And this is how Willie McGee hits the ball. He just slaps at it, tries to hit it where it's pitched, and hit that one right down the left field line. So the Cardinals threaten to score right away here in the bottom half of the first inning. Watch him go with the pitch, just slapping at it.
Another switch hitter, Tommy Herr. A runner at second and 1 out.
That's only McGee's 10th double of the year. He's down in that category, too.
Herr last year knocked in over 100 runs, but I think that is much too much to ask of him year in and year out. He's not been a big RBI man. 55 to 65 has been his career. But last year, boy, he had these two guys on in front, Coleman and McGee. They were out there perched, ready to score at all times, and he just knocked them in. That has a lot to do with it, too. Where you hit in the order and how many guys get on in front of you.
It helped that McGee and Coleman were both having good years. It also helped that Jack Clark was hitting behind him.
They pitched to her.
Plus, he had a good year.
Yeah. In order to win pennants, you got to have a lot of good years, and sometimes it's the best year a player ever has in the major league. Three and on. When the Braves won in '82, they had a lot of guys knocking in runs. 80 to 90 runs knocked in by 2 or 3 guys. 3 balls and no strikes, and they might say go ahead and swing. Van Slyke on deck. Strike call, 3-1. Her not too crazy about it as he moves the gravel around. I think Glenn Hubbard had his best year in '82, RBI-wise, when the Braves won. Chambliss, Claudell Washington, Murphy, and Horner all knocked in a slew of runs. 3-1. Hit foul. Look out. Nick Leva. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Eichhorn was the winner in Toronto's win. Alkers lost it. Henke a save for the Blue Jays. They've got another game to play. With that win, Toronto now 6 back of Boston. Boston plays later. Three balls and 2 strikes. Indicator set of signs by Benedict. Might be the curve. Might be a fastball low, too. A walk to her. Tomorrow's an off day. The Braves will be home against the Cubs on Friday. Zane Smith against Scott Sanderson. Airtime will be 7:35 for television. Here's Andy Van Slyke. Van Slyke with 3 hits in the series and a couple of RBIs. There are your pitchers for the weekend. And we don't know who will be in the big game, of course. That starts at 1:40. The Equitable Old Timers game on Sunday. We hope to see you there. 9 Hall of Famers, including Bob Feller, will be there. Bob Gibson, Ernie Banks. Ball outside. Enos Slaughter, Luke Apley, Warren Spahn. They're going to have a press conference at 1:30 in the press lounge on Saturday. Mailer in trouble, and there's a base hit to right. McGee will score, 1st and 3rd. Andy Van Slyke with his 43rd RBI, and right away St. Louis breaks on top. And Herr hustles around to 3rd.
Well, Rick Mailer has just been having all sorts of problems this year. His earned run average higher than it's ever been in a major league season. He gives up a run-scoring hit here. That walk that he issued to Tommy Herr was the 79th of the year. That ties the number of walks he issued all of last season. And he's now given up 231 hits in 182 innings.
Yeah, that's the real glaring statistic. Strike call. This is Terry Pendleton.
You add them up, and that's a lot of base runners.
You try to keep your innings pitched about equal to your hits, and you're in pretty good shape. Real effective pitchers will have fewer hits, of course, than innings pitched. Runner going to throw. He's going to be out of there. Nice throw by Benedict. Van Slyke, who was trying for his 17th stolen base, suffers his 7th caught stealing. Good throw by Benedict.
Very good throw. They weren't too concerned about Tommy Herr. Herr still runs quite well, but his knees bother him. And Benedict gave no hesitation before making a good throw down to second base as Herr was holding Ford at third.
Now with 2 down, we count 0-2.
Got to play that a little differently if it's Willie McGee or Vince Coleman running at third, though.
Hubbard got his leg in the way, and there's nothing wrong with that. He made Van Slyke reach around it. That helped a bit. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That is called strike 3. Fastball. Pendleton caught looking, still standing there. Drops his batting helmet. Drops his bat. Hasn't moved yet. Still standing there. There goes his batting glove. Come on, Terry. Now he's going to move. Eric Gregg really appreciates that. We go to the second inning, 1-0 Cardinals.
Like many before, you came here asking for just one thing.
Radowski. Shibowski.
A chance.
Pronounced Shibowski.
You're gonna make it. Here comes you. You make America work, and this fight for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
The Delta professionals always make you feel like you're on top of the world. Delta gets you there.
Power. I want it here. I want it in my antiperspirant.
Speed Stick has the most powerful wetness fighter you can buy. Nothing fights wetness and odor better.
The wide stick.
The most powerful you can buy. Speed Stick antiperspirant.
5 minutes.
Skin Bracer Aftershave has what it takes to cool, soothe, tone, tighten, and to wake up your face.
Thanks. I needed that.
After every shave, it has what your face needs. Skin Bracer.
5 minutes.
This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta Braves and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves and the Turner Broadcasting System, is prohibited.
There you see the National League West, the hottest team in baseball just about. Cincinnati's won 8 out of their last 10, shooting for their 5th win in a row. Are trailing 5-4 to Pittsburgh. They're in the 5th inning. Houston plays a little bit later. They entertain Chicago. Horner misses the first pitch. 0-1. The captain's been in a bit of a slump. 1 for 8 in the series and 2 for his last 20. And the 0-1 outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He'll be followed by Griffey, who didn't play last night. Tanner gave him a rest as a lefty was pitching, but got him back in there tonight. Way outside with that sinking fastball, 2-1. Off the end of the bat, that's another changeup, 2-2. And a 2-2. High with a fastball. Chuck Tanner, who just passed Billy Martin for wins as a manager in the major leagues. He's in 24th place now. 23rd place is Charlie Grimm. Tanner needs 9 more wins to take over that spot. There's ball 4 to Horner. So the Braves with a runner at first and nobody out for Ken Griffey.
Number 22.
Chuck would like to get those 29 wins this year, too. That means the Braves would be 29-9 down the stretch and might get back in it.
No, we talked about the road trip, and early in the year, middle of the year, 500 road trip, that's what you shoot for. But when you're trying to catch somebody like the Braves, it's not good enough. You got to take a road trip of 9 games and win like 7.
And that's exactly what Chuck was shooting for when the 9-game trip began. It looked like the Braves had a pretty good chance when they swept the Cubs those first 3, but now they've lost 4 of their last 5.
0-1 on Griffey. Hit foul, out of play. Griffey had a great game here on Monday. Hit a home run and a triple. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. No balls, 2 strikes. A tough left-hander out there, 1-2. Tudor, just about every year in the major leagues, has been a better than 500 pitcher. Last year, of course, 21-8 was his biggest season ever. Outside. Other years, 13-10, 13-12, 12-11. He pitched with the Red Sox for a while, too. Then went to Pittsburgh for a year, and then over to St. Louis. Horner's at first. They're not holding him. Throw over. I wonder if Tudor did that out of force of habit. Van Slyke was playing behind Horner. Loop. Hit center field. Ken Griffey hit one off the end of the bat. Horner's going to try for third. A throw there. He's going to be safe. The throw gets away. Griffey holding it first. Horner was a dead duck. But the throw got through. Some tough base running by the captain, and it turned out all right for him. First and third, and nobody out.
Well, first of all, Horner had to wait on this ball, which was just looped over second base to see if anybody was going to catch it. Now is when he takes off. And he makes up his mind he's going to try for third. Willie McGee comes up, makes a good, strong throw. It's right on the bag at third, but Terry Pendleton couldn't hang on to it. You could see Horner would have been out by 3 steps if Pendleton had kept the throw, but the throw got by, was backed up by Tudor, and the runners are at first and third.
Now Oberkfell, former Cardinal. Strike call. Eric Gregg, who looks like he's dropped about 25 pounds, is calling the balls and strikes. There's Big Eric. Curveball. Just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners on the corners. Horner's at third and Griffey's at first.
Chuck Tanner and Eric Gregg really having a few words right now.
Throw to first, Griffey back. Obi went 0 for 3 on Monday night. The Braves lead in the season series, as you look at Tanner, 5-3 over the Cardinals. Oh, they got Griffey picked off. Horner will hold at third, and the out is made. Poor base running by Ken Griffey. He gets picked off. Second pickoff by Tudor. That one hurt.
And both times it's happened because the runner at first is broken just a shade too late. See Tudor turn toward the plate with his head, but then he steps directly toward first, and Griffey had already broken. 1-3, 6-3. He's out. Holding at third, Horner. He's gotten him on that head beak twice.
Braves with poor base running hurt themselves here early. Throw to third, and Horner's back. Oh, they're firing that potato around, aren't they? 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it. Benedict on deck. Bruce getting a chance to catch. He had a pinch hit triple here last night. Scored the only run for Atlanta. That curve did not get in there. 2-2. He started it right at Oberkfell, and it hung in there. Now the 2-2. Hit the short. Runner will hold. 2 out. Oberkfell fails to get him in with less than 2 outs. Now takes a 2-out hit. Fine pitcher Ruffin won for Philadelphia today. Beat Welch as the Phillies beat the Dodgers, and Bedrosian picked up a save. First and third and nobody out. And now it's a runner at third and 2 out. Fast strike, 0-1. One ball, one strike. Horner comes off third, and the pitch to Benedict hit foul right past Horner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I guess a crowd of around 20,000 or so. They've been averaging 30. They hope to hit 2 million again. It would be, I think, the 4th year in a row. They're already at 2 million. Brother. Hit along the line in left foul. Yes, there was talk that if the Cardinals had been in contention all year, they're talking about good possibility they would have drawn 3 million.
Yeah, they think they're capable of drawing 3 here now, just as the Dodgers have, and as it looks like the New York Mets will this year.
One and 2. Broken bat, 1 hopper to short. Smith to first, Benedict out, and the Braves let a good scoring opportunity slip away. They strand 1. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Cardinals.
You want personal service, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm Agent John Monson. Anybody can sell you insurance, but backing it up with service is what really counts. When my customers need any help with their auto, home, life, or health insurance, or they have a claim, they come right to me. State Farm agents don't hide from you after you buy the policy.
And like a good neighbor,
We're there, backing it with service.
State Farm is there.
Valvoline presents a blockbuster of epic proportions. The Valvoline Oil Rush. Starring Valvoline All Climate and Super HBO with Foregard, Racing Oil, and Valvoline Turbo 5. Excitement. A spectacular money-back offer. Action. Buy 12 quarts, get a $5 rebate from Valvoline. Romance. You love our special oils.
I laughed, I cried, I saved $5.
The Valvoline Oil Rush. Now playing at a participating store near you.
Important medical news for sufferers of acid indigestion. Now, a new survey has revealed that doctors prefer the relief formula in Rolaids over the formula in Tums. Rolaids antacid medicine first consumes all the acid required to bring millions 100% relief, and then keeps on working to help keep your stomach trouble-free. Treat the pain and burn of excess stomach acid with serious medicine. Remember, doctors prefer the relief formula in Rolaids over the formula in Tums.
Super Football Saturday's gonna get you.
Oh, me?
Super Football Saturday returns to the Superstation September 6th.
We hope that Lois McCluskey of LaGrange, Georgia, has a pleasant day on her big day. And we have fans here from, I believe it's Trezevan, looks like, Tennessee. And the Huffs are here from Bonterre, Missouri. A couple of toughies here in the message department. And we hope that down in Venice, Florida, that the old golf pro, Jack Zuma, is watching tonight. His 7-wood has made me a better golfer. The Jack Zuma 7-wood. It's not in production anymore.
That's your magic wand.
Yes.
Club.
John Morris. 1-0 on him. Had a pretty good series. That almost looked like a knuckleball. You know, Mailer has a knuckleball, but he's kind of put it in cold storage. 2-0. Morris had 3 hits last night. Mailer in danger of losing him. 3 balls and no strikes. Not even close. Second walk by Rick Mailer. Bringing up Ozzie Smith.
Batting 7th, number 1, shortstop, Ozzie
He'll be followed by Lake. Ozzie picked up 3 hits last night. Failed to hit on Monday. He's having one of his best years RBI-wise. Back for a while, he led the club in RBI. Ozzie Smith, 0-1. Wish we could have had it on television Monday night. Those 2 ground balls that he fielded kind of behind his back.
Boy, he puts on a show, doesn't he? And he makes it look so easy.
Ball outside.
But as good a defensive player as Ozzie Smith is, he's somewhat underrated offensively. He gets on base. He draws a lot of walks.
He had 54 RBIs last year. That's his high. Off the end of the bat. That's my hero. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A runner at first and nobody out. Morris runs well. He has 5 stolen bases. He hasn't been here all year. Towards second base, Ramirez. 1. Throws it away. That'll put Smith at second base. Charged Ramirez with an error. He took the first play by himself, the first out. Then he threw wild to first, past everybody.
Catcher Steve Lake.
He might not have gotten Ozzie Smith at first, even with a good throw. It's one of these AstroTurf high hoppers. He comes up with it near the bag, steps on second, throwing off the wrong foot. That ball just sails on him, but I think Ozzie Smith had it beaten anyway.
Yep.
But the bad throw sends him down to second.
Cardinals lead at 1-0. They scored 1 in the first. Curve strike. A caught stealing. A good throw by Benedict really helped in that first inning because he got Van Slyke, who had knocked in a run. Lake started the year with the Cubs. Mailer with an 0-1. Make it 0-2. Fastball nipped the outside corner. John Tudor is on deck. Here's an 0-2. Call strike 3. Blake didn't like that call, but he's out of there on strike. Number 2 by Mailer.
He went right after him when the count got to 0-2. Threw him a fastball right down the middle.
Oh, boy, you can't argue on that one, Stephen. Right in the chute. In fact, Benedict wanted it a little bit outside, and it came right back to the middle of the plate. Now Tudor. A 164 hitter. Over third, foul. 0-1. It's 414 to dead center here. 383 in the alleys, and to the poles, it's 330. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Hit foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Here we take a look at the dimensions. A beautiful ballpark. Built, I believe, in 1966. That outfield wall has got sponge rubber on it. Makes the ball really bounce when it comes off the wall. That's hit foul past third. It's also the home of the St. Louis football Cardinals. They were out practicing today at 2 o'clock. Well, you talk about big people. Professional football players. The defensive linemen, the offensive linemen are huge. Now, I believe that was a knuckleball. You saw Benedict put down 5 fingers, and I think that Mailer's throwing a knuckler.
He may be throwing it again. He had put it away. It sure acted like one, didn't it?
Yeah.
He put it away at the beginning of the season, said there was one too many pitches to think about, but he might have brought it out again since he's been having so much trouble of late.
Curveball bounced away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You see Ozzie Smith in the bottom of your picture. Time call. The curveball is hit high into the air along the line. Hubbard got it, and the ball is fair. Nice catch by Glenn Hubbard. Going down that right field foul line. The ball is just fair. Take a look at it going out. He crosses the line, I believe, with the momentum of the speed, but the ball was in fair territory. Hubbard with a good catch. We played 2. It's 1-0 Cardinals.
An important medical survey reveals doctors prefer the relief formula in Rolaids over that in Tums. Rolaids consumes the acid required to bring millions 100% relief, then keeps working to help keep your stomach trouble-free. Choose Rolaids.
And I need to gotta get sick. When the beard is back, Schick Disposable is always ready. Shave after shave. Gotta get sick.
Valvoline presents a blockbuster of epic proportions. The Valvoline Oil Rush, starring Valvoline All Climate and Super HBO with Foregard, Racing Oil, and Valvoline Turbo 5. Excitement! A spectacular money-back offer. Action! Buy 12 quarts, get a $5 rebate from Valvoline. Romance? You love our special oils.
I laughed, I cried, I saved $5.
The Valvoline Oil Rush, now playing at a participating store near you.
I realized when I got my own business, I had to give it 110% of my time. I got deadlines to meet. I can't let something like hunger get in the way.
Snickers satisfies you.
A Snickers fills me up so I can grab a meal. Cuts the hunger, lets me take care of business.
Packed with peanuts, peanut butter nougat, caramel, and milk chocolate.
Snickers satisfies you.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
Snickers is like a part of my business. When I'm hungry, it really does the job for me.
He was the main cog in the big red machine, then traded to Pinstripes. Now he's a Brave, and he's got Atlanta excited. Subscribe today to Super Sports News, and you'll read all about two-time All-Star Ken Griffey, the hottest player on the team. To subscribe, send $11.95 for the next 12 issues to Super Sports News, P.O. Box 89162, Atlanta, Georgia 30312.
Second baseman, Glenn Hubbard.
Glenn Hubbard, who made the nice catch, will lead it off. That happens frequently. Been in a dry spell with that bat, 2 for his last 26, has 1 hit in the series, and takes a ball outside. Be followed by Mailer. Wally Joyner was lucky. He plays with the California Angels. They beat the Yankees last night. There's a fly ball left center. Coleman, 1 down. At Yankee Stadium, when the California Angels leaving the field, Joyner was hit on the arm by a pocket knife thrown out of the second deck. Well, that could have been serious. Here's Mailer. Another former Brave, Ken Daly, is through for the year here with the Cardinals. Got a bad arm. They don't recommend surgery, just rest, so he is through for the season. One ball, 1 strike. That's out to Ozzie Smith. 2 down. Back to the top of the order with Billy Sample. Pete Van Weeren and Ernie Johnson with you from St. Louis. Final game on the road trip. Sample popped the first time up. Strike on 1. John Tudor was very outspoken early in the year about the attitude on this Cardinal club. He included himself, too. He said didn't care for the way things were going, and the attitude of the players, by and large, were kind of expecting, well, maybe to not win the ball game, and he spoke out about it. They've had a good second half. The Cardinals have played outstanding baseball since the All-Star break, but New York just made everybody look bad in the East. The Mets are going for their 85th win of the year tonight. They're 42 games over 500. Check swing foul, 1-2. Cubs in Houston scoreless in the 3rd. Cincinnati's tied that game. It's 5-5 in the 5th with Pittsburgh. If the Reds win, if Houston loses, Cincinnati is 6 back, and so is the Giants. Foul away. Last report we had on the football game, Alabama beating Ohio State 6-0. Had a couple of field goals. Pitches inside, 3-2. And the 3-2 delivery is hit foul down that left side over the Braves bullpen into the seats. Another pitcher who proves you don't have to throw the dickens out of the ball to be an effective pitcher and win up here. Outside. Now we have a report on the football game. Ohio State's out in front, 7-6 halftime. Sample is walked, bringing up Ramirez, who singled first time up. Then he was picked off.
Shortstop, Rafael Ramirez.
Second walk by John Tudor. Outside, 1-0. Eddie Casco, Boston Red Sox director of scouting, here again tonight. He's been here for the whole series. He was also in Atlanta. Jim Russo, the Orioles, here at that time of the year. Sample is back. That time of the year where scouts get out and look around a bit in anticipation of trades in the offseason. One ball, no strike. Now his move doesn't look that tricky, but he must do something on some of these moves that have deked the Braves runners because they've broken before he's made a move. That is off the glove of the third baseman. All hands safe. Ramirez with another hit, but Pendleton saved a double and possibly a run on a great play at third. He smothered it.
And the outfield had Sample shaded a little bit toward the gap, so if this ball, Ramirez rather, so if this ball had gone down the left field line, pretty good chance that the runner at first, Billy Sample, might have scored on it. So that's maybe a run-saving play for Terry Pendleton at third.
And it gives the Braves a chance now with Murphy and 2 out. Boy, he had a cut. 0-1. You'll have a pitch to swing at with Tudor. He didn't walk many. Got some good numbers on Murphy. That's that changeup. 0-2.
Both tonight's pitcher John Tudor and last night's pitcher Greg Matthews showing you don't have to overpower hitters to win up here. Both of them have fastballs clocked at best at about 84, 85 miles an hour.
Runners first and second. Ramirez at first and Sample at second. 0-2 on Murphy. You talked about their fastballs, but scouts invariably will not get too excited about a young pitcher who can't throw hard.
I think a pitcher like a Tudor or a Matthews really has to prove himself a lot more in the minor leagues. A guy who throws hard, they'll move him along, even if he has a couple of rough years in the lower minors. But a guy who throws like a Tudor or a Matthews really has to win in the low minors to attract attention.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. He struck him out with a changeup. Murphy's out of there. A big pitch for Tudor. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0, St. Louis.
Every Monday through Friday, Mike Horner drives his Chevy S10 4x4 to work.
Hi, Mike.
But on Friday, November 9th, Mike made a different kind of commute. The Baja 1000, North America's most punishing off-road race. Could an everyday Chevy S10 survive? It not only survived, it won its class. So no matter what kind of commute you have to make, nothing works like a Chevy truck. Now get 6.9 financing during Chevy's year-end clearance. Length of finance contract is limited.
Now Arca Drugs has relief from the heat for those of us who can't sit out an inning. Ice cold Coke in singles, multi-packs, and 2-liter bottles.
His weekdays were like dusty pages waiting to be written on until he discovered suspense on the Superstation matinee.
And tomorrow, who plugged this dame with a bullet through the pumper inside the office of L.A.'s toughest private dick? Banyan's going to find out. 105 Eastern on the Superstation matinee tomorrow.
Superstation profile, Bruce Benedict, catcher for America's team, the Atlanta Braves.
I was getting ready to throw it to third so we could throw it around a little bit, and I caught my spike in one of my shoelaces. Couldn't have been a better
see you later. Just when it gets that bad, you've got to play it up a little bit, tip your hat, do things like that.
Braves versus Cubs, 7:35 p.m. Eastern, Friday.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
We're going to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 St. Louis, and here's Pete.
Thank you, Ernie. Vince Coleman leads off for the Cardinals. He grounded out to first in the first. You look at the size of Vince Coleman. Look at the size of the bat he uses. One of the longest bats used by anybody in the National League. He just tries to get out there and hit that ball right down into the ground and take advantage of its speed. 0-1 the count.
Long bat, but he chokes up a couple of inches. Just try to make that contact, as you mentioned. Looks a little like a bottle bat. Big barrel on it.
Here's the 0-1, and that caught the corner. 0-2. After 3 now in Houston, the Astros lead the Cubs 2-0. Nolan Ryan against Jamie Moyer, and that one. Here it's 1-0 St. Louis. Bottom half of the third, count of 0-2 on Vince Coleman leading off. He got him. Third strikeout for Rick Mailer.
I think that was that knuckleball. Mailer has thrown it several times. Let's watch. Does it dance a little bit? He missed it by a foot. Had to be a knuckler.
So 1 away in the bottom of the third. Willie McGee stepping in. He doubled down the left field line in the first inning. Fouled that one off. 0-1. Braves coach Russ Nixon, talking about the Cardinals yesterday, said that last year they just had everything in high gear. They could do no wrong, and there was nobody in the National League that could play with them. And this year, little pieces of that machine not quite in place. McGee not having a big year, out with an injury. Jack Clark out with an injury. 2 members of the bullpen, Ken Daly and Jeff Lottie, have had injury problems. Lottie has hardly pitched at all this year. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that misses. 3-1. There's Russ Nixon,
Dave Pursley, and Jeff Porter.
Full count now. 3-2 on Willie McGee. And the payoff pitch bounces up there. That's the third walk issued by Rick Mailer. So McGee aboard with 1 down. Tommy Herr will step in. Herr walked in the first inning.
Well, I don't know if they'll let McGee try to steal or not with that pull hamstring. They might want to play it a little safe on his first game back, but who knows? He ran very well the first time up on his double.
There was some talk in the St. Louis newspapers today that the Cardinals might go to 25 players for the next 4 or 5 days to get McGee back on the roster. They could have done that. They could have added McGee, giving him 25 players, and then on September 1st you can call up as many as 15 more. But the Cardinals sticking with that 24-man roster. When they activated McGee, Ray Burris was released.
I don't think that is laid in granite, as they said, that agreement to go with 24. I think that's a verbal thing among the owners, and so far everyone has adhered to it.
Cardinals for the rest of this month will go with a 9-man pitching staff. Again, McGee chased back. And again a throw over.
I still think the 24 might be on a trial basis. Wouldn't surprise me at all next year if the owners got together and said, well, let's go back to 25.
The runner is going on the 1-0 pitch. Benedict's throw down. Boy, that was a great throw. And McGee out by 4 steps down there. So Benedict has thrown out his second attempted base stealer of the night.
We mentioned this early. McGee now stolen 12 and been caught 12 times, and you're never going to see Willie McGee. I never thought I would. I saw it tonight. Caught standing up. Look at this. I mean, brother, that is out.
So the base is empty now with 2 down. A count of 2-0 on Tommy Herr. It was a good pitch for Benedict to handle. It was a high fastball. He caught it in a standing position.
Almost like a pitch out. I don't think it was.
So now with 2 out, a 2-0 pitch on the way to Tommy Herr. Little chopper right back to the mound, but it was off the foot of Herr. Foul. 2-1.
Benedict with a couple of good tosses here tonight. Van Slyke, who's fast, 16 stolen bases, caught only 6 times, and Willie McGee.
Two balls and a strike now on Tommy Herr. That makes it 3-1. You can see Benedict signaling to Rick Mailer, stay on top, stop dropping down.
Yeah.
Benedict's really been on Mailer tonight. He wants to get Rick out of the slump he's been in. There's a ground ball to Glenn Hubbard, which should end the inning. And it does. The Cardinals retired in the bottom half of the 3rd. We go to the 4th inning. Our score remains St. Louis 1, Atlanta nothing.
At Delta, we could talk about our airplanes, some of the best maintained, most modern birds in the sky, or our schedule, over 1,500 flights a day worldwide, or our flight centers, the airports of the future. But none of that is as important as people. And when it comes to the Delta professionals, the people who make Delta as great as it is, well, one smile is worth 1,000 words. Delta gets you there.
Hi, TJ. How you doing?
Yeah, so Tom, could you get that tow truck down to Route 34?
One day soon, a wave will sweep over you. It will be a wave of taste so refreshing, so irresistible, so new, that sooner or later it will leave all others in its wake. Catch the wave. Coke.
You know, I love the excitement in Atlantic City and Las Vegas, and okay, I get VIP treatment. Now, you too can get VIP treatment and big savings just by carrying the Players Club Go card. You'll save money on rooms, on top-name entertainment, on food and beverages. Just join the club that's honored the world over. Atlantic City, Las Vegas, Reno, Tahoe, the Caribbean, all around the world. Hey, no strings attached to get the club's benefits. You listen to Telly? Call Players Club today.
Well, the amazing number in those numbers right there. 0 home runs for the Cardinals in 8 games against the Braves coming into this one, and they haven't hit one yet tonight. But that's been the story of the Cardinals. They have built this team for this ballpark. They've hit only 40 home runs all year. You may see the Cardinals try to deal for a little more power in the offseason because you do have to play 81 games on the road every year in some pretty good hitters' parks.
They've got 3 infielders on the left side against Horner.
And the count 0-1. Horner walked his first time up. We're in the top of the 4th. Braves down 1-0. There you see the overshift. Horner's had pretty good success beating that. He's gotten some base hits to right against that shift. And he tried to that time, but hit it right back up the middle. The shift was perfect that time. Tommy Herr throws him out, 1 away. I I think one reason so many teams continue to put that shift on is they feel it might make him change his swing a little bit. Instead of maybe going for a long ball down the line, he might try to just get a base hit to right.
He tried that last time. He just didn't get it over that way far enough.
Ken Griffey had a base hit to right his first time up. The count 0-1. Griffey, a very consistent player since coming over from the Yankees. One ball, one strike.
I haven't seen anyone in the National League throw too hard for Griffey. Boy, he turns around fastballs that are coming up there at 95 miles an hour.
A ball and 2 strikes to count. You can ask Ken Griffey about what kind of success he's had against a pitcher, a certain pitcher. And he can't always tell you because he doesn't really think about who's pitching. He says when he goes up there, he looks for the ball.
Tries to hit it hard.
Doesn't matter whether it's a righty or a lefty. Here's the 1-2. He got him outside corner. Tudor records a second strikeout.
Let's see if this is right on the outside corner. Look where the mid is. He hit it right dead center. That mid is not placed in the middle. It's on the corner.
Oberkfell grounded out to short his first time. The count. 1 run, 2 hits for St. Louis. No runs, 3 hits for Atlanta. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. Right to the shortstop, Ozzie Smith. And a very easy inning for John Tudor. Nothing doing for Atlanta in the 4th. We go to the bottom half. Score stays. Cardinals 1, Braves nothing.
Indy 500 champion Bobby Rahal, the fastest Indy champion in history. Continuing the winning tradition of Budweiser racing teams, Bobby took the checkered flag to win the greatest auto race in the world. Racing fans, this Bud's for you.
Hey, Super Football Saturday's gonna get you.
Oh, me?
September 6th. Super Football Saturday's gonna get you.
Me?
The best in college football returns. Hey, Super Football Saturday's gonna get you.
I know.
Super Football Saturday returns to the Superstation September 6th.
There is a power for high-performance engines. A power that forces its way through clogged fuel injectors and keeps them open. A power that makes sure when you hit the pedal, you get performance. The power is Shell SU-2000 Super Unleaded Gasoline, and it is unstoppable.
Tonight, Superstar Summer continues with Burt Lancaster in the story of an against-the-odds athlete's rise to fame. Jim Thorpe, All-American, 11:05 Eastern on the Superstation tonight.
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh tied up in the bottom half of the 6th inning of their game. If the Reds win that one, they will remain tied with the Giants, who already won their game this afternoon. Houston leads Chicago now 3-0. They're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Nolan Ryan on the mound for the Astros. White Sox are leading Kansas City. Chicago trying to get it turned around. They've really fallen on bad times of late. Milwaukee has a 4-1 lead over Minnesota. They're in the 4th inning. Boston, Texas tied 1-1 in the 4th. That's an important game for both teams. Hurst against Correa in that one. Here it is 1-0 St. Louis. There's that Toronto-Cleveland doubleheader. Blue Jays won the first game in 12 innings. If the Blue Jays sweep a doubleheader and Boston loses their game to Texas, Toronto's only 5 games out in the American League East. 1-0 St. Louis, bottom of the 4th. Andy Van Slyke, who drove in the Cardinal run with a single in the first inning, leads off. You've noticed a lot of these Cardinal hitters have pretty good career batting averages against Rick Mailer, but none of them have ever hit a home run off of Rick. 1 ball, 1 strike. Van Slyke really represents the power threat in the Cardinal lineup tonight. His 8 home runs, the most hit by anybody in the starting lineup.
Knuckler. He's thrown them.
Only 4 hitters in the Cardinal batting order tonight have even hit 1 home run this year. Van Slyke has 8, McGee 6, Hurd 2, Pendleton 1. Everybody else in the batting order homerless. Now the 2-1. Down that left field line. It's going to be tough. It's going to drop in for a base hit, more than 1. Van Slyke heads for second. Griffey up with the ball in the Braves bullpen, and Van Slyke will hold at second. Hit that one right off the end of his bat and got a double out of it.
Third baseman Terry Pendleton.
Ping. Little flare over third. It's a double.
That's the 3rd Cardinal hit. Van Slyke at second now with nobody out, and Terry Pendleton, the batter. Pendleton looked at a 3rd strike his first time up. Pendleton, one of the few players in the major leagues who hasn't missed a game this year. He was hurt on Sunday, and they thought he might be out for about a week. Injured his thumb, but then he came back on Tuesday night as a pinch hitter, or on Monday night rather as a pinch hitter, and was back in the starting lineup last night. Still hasn't missed a game. Takes the ball low.
He's got quite a brace there on his right forearm.
You see quite a few hitters wear something like that to protect their instep, but not many wear one on the arm. You would think that would be an uncomfortable way to hit. To the right side, that'll get the runner to third. Hubbard to first for the out. Van Slyke moves to third, and he's the runner there with 1 down for John Morris.
That brace might be helping his thumb, too, because I think he has a bandage on his thumb. That where his injury was. Just got hurt over the weekend.
Morris drew a walk in the 2nd inning. Braves infield will play in.
They blew 1 squeeze here on Monday night because I believe it was Coleman, the batter. He might have missed the sign. The runner came in from third, and he took the pitch, and the runner was hung up. LaValliere.
0-1 the count on John Morris, who was signed originally by Kansas City, came over in the Lonnie Smith deal. Here's the 0-1. And the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Most of that is decoy from Nick Leyva, third base coach. Somewhere in that set of signs, there might be something.
1-1 the count on John Morris. 1 man out, runner at third. Well, the Braves thought something might be on that pitch. Nothing was. Nick Leyva flashing more signs with a count 2-1.
I've seen coaches go through all that, and there's nothing on because they were outside the coaching box. Every sign had to be given within the coaching box or be looking at the person.
And it's now 3-1 on Morris. Ozzie Smith waiting on deck.
Charlie Grimm had the best bunt sign. He said, if you can't see my right thumb, bunt. I mean, if you miss that sign, baby, you're in trouble.
Now the 3-1 on the way. Didn't get the breaking ball. It's full now. 3-2 on John Morris. He got him. Inside corner fastball. And that's a perfect spot for a strikeout. A runner at third, 1 out. Now there's a runner at third with 2 outs. That's the 4th strikeout for Rick Mailer.
Well, Tudor knows that that's too close to take. With a count of 2 strikes, there's no way you take that pitch. And he'll probably talk about it with Whitey Herzog. Here's Smith.
Ozzie reached on a force play in the 1st inning. And advanced to second on a throwing error by Ramirez. A ball and no strikes. Mailer 2-0 against the Cardinals this year. 4-5 lifetime. Van Slyke at third with 2 down. He was way out in front of that changeup. 1-1.
Might mention that when that does happen, take call strike 3 without swinging. The most upset person is the batter because he knows you don't do that. You can't do it, especially with a runner in scoring position.
Shallow center field where Murphy should handle it. And a good job of pitching by Rick Mailer. He had a runner at third, 1 man out, and got out of the inning with that runner still there. We've completed 4 in St. Louis. It's the Cardinals 1 and the Braves nothing.
Richard Petty talks about his all-time driving headaches.
Daytona 76. That was definitely a goodie. Charlotte 72. That was another goodie. Michigan 84. That was a real goodie. I've won over 200 races, but I've had over 700 headaches. So just take it from me. Goodies gets rid of the pain fast, and that's what counts.
Goody's headache powders and extra strength tablets.
Now's the time to vacation in Europe with Delta. We'll give you a free car for a week, a free hotel room for a night, and just $52 a night after that. We'll fly you to England, or France, or Germany, or Ireland. For prices in your city, call your travel agent. Europe at Delta.
September 6th kicks off World Premiere Week on Superstation WTBS. First, Super Football Saturday is going to get you when mighty Alabama and Vanderbilt clash in the season premiere. Then, Monday, September 8th, the Beaver's back in the all-new Leave It to Beaver. And that night, it's the world television premiere of Yankee Doodle Dandy, now in color. Wednesday, September 10th, Jacques Cousteau explores an island so close, yet forbidden to America, Cuba. Remember, World Premiere Week on the Superstation begins Saturday, September 6th.
We go to the top half of the 5th inning. We've got fans from all over the place, including Rogers, Arkansas, here watching the game tonight. Have a note here to pass along. Jimmy Eastman in Mulberry, Florida, a little under the weather. Hope he feels better real soon. In the top of the 5th, Bruce Benedict, Glenn Hubbard, Rick Mailer due up against John Tudor, who has kept the Braves off the board and scattered just 3 hits over the first 4 innings. Benedict grounded out to short his first half.
Not bad numbers for Bruce against a tough lefty. 333.
A ball, no strikes. That's over. 1-1. And the 1-1 coming. 2-1 the count. Down the right side, it'll drop out of play. So the count even 2-2. Very comfortable night in St. Louis after a couple of very warm, muggy days. It cooled off a bit today. The count full now, 3-2 on Bruce Benedict. And the payoff from Tudor is grounded down that third baseline. Pendleton couldn't get a glove on it. It heads for the corner. Benedict will round first, head for second. Coleman plays the carom. And Benedict aboard with a leadoff double. His 10th double of the season. Hit number 4 off John Tudor.
Benedict had a pinch hit triple last night. Now tonight he's got a double just inside the bag. Pendleton sprawling, couldn't stop it. So Benedict continues to hit John Tudor.
So the Braves have a runner at second with nobody out, trying to tie this ball game up. Glenn Hubbard steps in. He flied to left his first time.
He was not sacrificing. That was a push bunt. He's trying to get it by the pitcher out towards second.
At first and third, Pendleton and Van Slyke are playing in. Out of play to the right, and the count 0-2.
Those are excellent numbers on Hubbard, with runners in scoring position, batting .333. That's great.
Now the 0-2 pitch on the way to Hubbard. Missed outside with a fastball, 1-2.
Going inside this trip.
2-2, the count at Hubbard. Pitcher Rick Mahler waiting on deck. 1 run, 3 hits for the Cardinals. No runs, 4 hits for the Braves. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. Every one of these games in this series has started out very similarly, with the Cardinals taking a 1-0 lead early and then holding it for 4 or 5 innings. Still 2-2. Last night it was 1-0 going into the bottom of the 5th inning. Then the Cardinals broke it open with 3. It was 1-0 going into the 6th inning. On Monday night, the Cardinals then made it 2-0, and then the Braves got going and pulled out a victory. Here's the 2-2, and Hubbard fouled. Boy, he fought off a pitch there. That pitch was up and in, and he just got around on it. Still 2-2. Corner. And Tudor records his 3rd strikeout.
Well, Hubbard doesn't like this, the fact that he didn't swing. With a runner out there in scoring position, called out on strikes, a breaking ball. Here's Mahler.
Mahler grounded to short his first time. Into center field, base hit, Rick Mahler. Let's see if they wave Benedict. They're going to hold him at 3rd. Willie McGee firing home. The ball bouncing off Steve Lake, but the Braves couldn't take the gamble with Benedict, the runner. And the Braves have put runners now at 1st and 3rd.
This is a hard hit ball by Mahler, who is a good hitter. A liner. Tudor tried to glove it, and I think that's what held Benedict just for a second. He wanted to make sure it got through, but Nixon wisely held him because Bruce doesn't run well. The throw bounces away. You can't foresee that. 1st and 3rd. Now it's up to Billy Sample. Fly ball. It's got to have a little depth to it. Will score Benedict.
Braves now have out hit the Cardinals 5-3. Sample has popped out and walked in the game. Ball 1, the count on Billy Sample. Good stop there by Steve Lake. 2-0 the count. Lake getting a little more of a chance to play with the Cardinals. He was a backup to Jody Davis with the Chicago Cubs, and you never get in a game when that's your job. But here the Cardinals, they've really had the search on for a catcher this year. They had Mike Heath. That didn't work out. They traded him away to Detroit. Mike LaValliere has been doing quite a bit of the catching. Lake getting some playing time. And Tudor behind now, 3-0. He's upset with himself. Runners are at first and third with one down. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Sample. He walked him. And loads him up for Rafael Ramirez. That's the third walk issued by John Tudor. So now it's Sample at first, Mailer at second, Benedict at third, and Ramirez at the plate. Rafael is 2 for 2.
Rafael Ramirez.
A pair of singles for Ramirez. His batting average continuing to climb. It's now at 244. With the bases full, Tudor has elected to work from the windup.
But a very low batting average, as you saw by the graphic, with runners in scoring position, only 104. But he's in a spot now with his bat hot that he could increase that.
1 ball, no strikes. Tudor all of a sudden having trouble finding that strike zone. He's missed with 5 in a row. Uh-oh. Ozzie to second. Her to first. Inning over. The Braves couldn't cash in with the bases loaded and 1 man out. A 6-4-3 double play. And that's all in the 5th inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We got to the bottom half of the 5th. It's still 1-0 St. Louis.
There is a power for high-performance engines, a power that forces its way through clogged fuel injectors and keeps them open. A power that makes sure when you hit the pedal, you get performance. The power is Shell SU-2000 Super Unleaded Gasoline, and it is unstoppable.
From the investor's point of view, with Charles Schwab.
I started Charles Schwab & Company from the investor's point of view. You save on commissions at Schwab, but you also get a level of service that will surprise you.
I take this 11:30 red-eye about once a week. Restaurants are closed, newsstand is closed, but my broker is open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Wherever you are, no matter what time of day or night,
Charles Schwab.
you can place an order with Charles Schwab & Company every day.
Placing an order at this hour? It's one of the reasons I wouldn't invest with anyone else.
Fast service, big discounts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm Charles Schwab, and that's the way I see it, from the investor's point of view.
If big discounts and quality service make sense to you, call now for your free booklet, What a Discount Broker Can Do for You. Call now, 800-257-1234, toll free. That's 800-257-1234.
There's your score at the end of 4 1/2, as Tudor has pitched in and out of trouble twice. And the Cardinals getting a run in the first, lead it 1-0. Rick Mailer has pitched his best ball game in, probably 2 months. He had an outstanding June, has not pitched well since. Just a lot better tonight. Skip Gary, John Sterling with you now on the Superstation on Braves television. Atlanta has had a 4-4 road trip, looking to go home with a winning trip if they can get this game tonight and move within a half game of the 4th place Dodgers. Here is Steve Lake, the ex-Chicago Cub, now catching for the Cardinals, giving Mike LaValliere a night off. Mailer is inside, ball one. Lake struck out his first time. It'll be Lake, then John Tudor, and the top of the order, Vince Coleman.
Lake, of course, used to catch trout in Chicago.
Indeed he did. He misses, and the count 1-1.
Well, we're getting closer. We didn't get anybody picked off in that top of the fifth.
That's the positive side. Another breaking ball, 1-2. The Braves really have had their chances tonight against Tudor, who's been uncharacteristically wild. But boy, he is tough. The statistics for Tudor this year, as we like to say in singles bars, awesome. Oh, beautiful slow curve by Mailer. That is calling. Pulling the string, and Mailer strikes out Lake.
Well, the good news to this point, it appears that Rick has, or is in the process of finding himself here.
One away, here's John Tudor. Tudor, not a bad hitting pitcher. He cuts and misses. A ball and strike. 1-2. 0-5-1 for the Braves. 1-3-0 for the Cardinals. A double by McGee in the first after a walk to her, a base hit by Andy Van Slyken. That's been the offense. Ramirez at short. Throws out Tudor just two-way. I'm sure there are statistics kept on this. In fact, I'm sure there are statistics kept on everything. But I wonder when the last time that a team has gone from leading a league in runs scored to scoring the fewest runs, and the Cardinals are going to do that. Last year, they scored more than everybody by a lot. This year, they've scored less than everybody by a lot. Vince Coleman steps in. He's over 2. Down low, ball one. It's really amazing about Coleman. He's hitting .247, and yet he has stolen 87 bases. He's been caught only 10 times. Once last night by Ozzie Virgil. Can you imagine how many bases this guy could steal if he could hit 280? He'd probably break Ricky Henderson's record. Mailer behind 2-0. Last guy in the world you want to walk, because when you walk him, that's a double. Coleman has almost no power batting left-handed, so you almost should just throw the ball down the pipe and say, hey, hit it as far as you can. There is a strike 3-1. You know, it's halftime in the kickoff classic, Skip. Ohio State leads Alabama by just a .76. That should end the inning. Still anybody's game, as is this. Because at the end of 5 innings of play, the Cardinals won and the Braves nothing.
Create. Martin Sino. Indulge. Explore. Martin Sino. It's easy to see. Restore. Why America dreams in Martin Sino. Discover Martin Sino paints. Imagine all the colors of America's decorators. Martin Sino paints.
The Delta professionals always make you feel like you're on top of the world. Delta gets you there.
His weekdays were like dusty pages waiting to be written on until he discovered suspense on the Superstation morning movies.
And tomorrow,
I've got to get away where they can't follow me.
tormented by her ex-husband, a young woman must make haste to live. 10:05 Eastern on the Superstation morning movie tomorrow.
From Johnny Majors to Kenny Stabler and Archie Manning, college football's Southeastern Conference has been a source of unparalleled talent. With 6 of their teams in the top 20, the SEC will become a hotbed of excitement. Bob Neal and Tim Foley host SEC 1986, Conference of Legends, at 10:05 p.m. Eastern on the Superstation, Friday.
There's a cute little take. There's a great franchise in St. Louis. They draw terrific crowds, even with their team over 20 games out. The National League East teams have been with the Mets' great year. Now we go to the 6th. Braves still trailing 1-0. The Cardinals scored their run in the 1st. Skip Carey, John Sterling with you on Braves television. It'll be Murph, then Bob Horner and Ken Griffey here in the 6th. Tudor tries to keep everything from the knees on down. Murph has fly to right and struck out. Tudor has a good record this year, 13-6. I mean, that's a very good record, but it's not nearly as good as it should be. He has been as brilliant this year as last. That's the dead center field. McGee on the track, leap, and he made a... No, it's off the wall. Murphy around second, heads to third. It'll be a stand-up triple for Murph off the wall, 414 feet away. And he didn't miss a homer in those bleachers by much. McGee jumped and just must have missed it at the top of the wall.
He didn't miss a homer by much. McGee didn't miss making a sensational catch by much either. He took one look at the wall, then went as far as he could go. And you really can't see what happened there, except his glove bounced away. And Morris came over and picked it up. If he hadn't hustled, it's an inside-the-park home run.
A couple of years ago, Murph hit one off Bruce Sutter off that wall to win a game for the Braves in the 9th inning. And that is just to the left of where Murph hit the ball Monday night. Here's Horner, the tying run at third. The Braves get another great chance at Tudor as Murphy triples off the top of the wall, 414 feet away. I really thought McGee had caught that at first. There's a strike on the inside. The Cardinals, out of respect for Horner, do not bring the infield in. In other words, they'll let the run score on a slow grounder. On a hard ground ball, they'll be able to come to the plate. There's a base hit to left field, and the game is tied up. Horner will go to second as Coleman fields it off the wall. So a triple by Murph, a double by Horner, and the Braves have tied this game at 1. 2 hard hits by the Braves' big hitters.
See what he hit here. Looked like that breaking ball. He didn't get it in on his hands as much as he wanted to, and Horner really ripped it.
Horner gets his 65th RBI. Cardinal bullpen gets busy, and here's Ken Griffey. We're talking about Tudor at 13-6. In the 6 games he's lost, the Cardinals have scored 13 runs. Griff takes it outside. In 5 other games, Tudor has pitched 9 innings and not gotten a decision. That's a rookie right-hander, Ray Soft, getting up in the Cardinal bullpen. That just missed the outside corner. The count 1-1. Griffey is 1 for 2 on the night. Griffey is just completing his 2nd full month. I think he arrived June 29th to 30th, and he is hitting .320 as a Brave with 10 homers and 27 RBIs. He has been absolutely terrific. Horner will not be able to advance. That's in short right center. McGee 1 away. Now with 1 out, here's Ken Oberkfell, who's grounded to short twice. But the Braves have finally tied it up. getting a triple by Murph. And a double by Horner. On Monday night's win, when Murphy doubled off Todd Worrell, they went to the right field side of that 414 foot signs. Murph has drilled shots that normally are not played in this ballpark. Outside, ball one. Braves go home tonight after this ball game. Be awfully good to get home and begin a weekend series against the Cubs Friday night. Friday night's television time 7:35. Sunday's television time 3:05. Saturday. Braves are not allowed to televise. It'll be NBC's property. And 3-0 on Overcall.
And while we make our way to the airport and fly home tonight, the folks watching this game can keep their dial tuned to TBS and watch Burt Lancaster star in Jim Thorpe All-America on the Superstation.
Keeping the sports motif.
But of course.
Horner off at second. And the 3-0 down low, ball four. I wonder how many people know who are watching tonight, and maybe it'll be in that movie. After Burt Lancaster, after Jim Thorpe had his medals taken away in the Olympics, and all, he became a major league outfielder.
Had a little trouble with the curveball, had good power, played for the Giants, right?
Yeah.
Or was it the Yankees, or was it both?
I think it was the Giants. I'm not sure if he ever played for the Yankees. And he played a number of years, too. He was that good an athlete. He really hadn't played much baseball, I guess. Fourth walk given up by Tudor. That's a lot. He averages about 2 a game. Bruce Benedict takes a strike. Braves have first and second, 1 out. Tudor has been in a lot of trouble tonight. He's pitched out of all of the jams, but this one with Murphy's triple and Horner's double getting a run. Now first and second, 1 out, and the 0-1 coming to Bruce. Pull foul down the line. Now we count 1-1.
3:05 in the morning. We got one for you on the Superstation Late Theater.
Yes, we'll be home then.
Yeah, The Milkman.
Donald O'Connor, Piper Laurie.
You're amazing, yeah. And Jimmy Durante.
Wow. Well, now I know I can watch it 3 in the morning.
You know who directed it?
No.
Charles Barton.
Well, on the tip of my tongue. That could be 2. It is 2. However, the Braves tie it up. They get a run on 2 hits and leave 1. And now the end of 5.5 innings to play from Bush Memorial. The score, the Cardinals 1 and the Braves 1.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Oh, the chili.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light. No, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Who Am I? Brought to you by Rolaids. Rolaids spells 100% relief. I led in stolen bases 3 straight years. I led the league in triples in 1956. In 1959, I set a fielding mark in center field. Who am I?
Important medical news for sufferers of acid indigestion. Now, a new survey has revealed that doctors prefer the relief formula in Rolaids over the formula in Tums. Rolaids antacid medicine first consumes all the acid required to bring millions 100% relief, and then keeps on working to help keep your stomach trouble-free. Treat the pain and burn of excess stomach acid with serious medicine. Remember, doctors prefer the relief formula in Rolaids over the formula in Tums.
Who am I? I'm Bill Bruton. Fleet-footed leadoff hitter with the Milwaukee Braves for 8 years.
go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Braves have tied it up at 1. And Rick Mailer now even Steven as you look at some of the crowd. They've drawn over 2 million here, even with a ball club that's been out of contention since the get-go. This is the great year the Mets have had. And also, of course, the Cardinals had that fabulous year last year when they went to the 7th game of the World Series. That sold a lot of tickets. But they've drawn over 2 million here the last 5 years. Great franchise. Here's Willie McGee back off the DL after spending a month with a hamstring pull. And the curveball, pop foul, and out of play. This game going to do Rick Mailer's confidence a world of good. He had been hit very hard. Without question, he had been shelled for the better part of the past 2 months. He had a great June. Mailer tonight's given up 3 hits in 5 innings. 2 of those in the 1st inning when the Cardinals plated their only run. Down low 1-1. You see graphic after graphic of some of the good things about almost all the players, but in truth, Willie McGee has had an awful year. This is a guy who just terrorized the National League last year in hitting and steals, runs scored. There's a base hit to center field. And McGee rounds first and goes halfway, then pulls up. Willie, coming into the game, hitting .247 with 40 RBIs. Last year,
second baseman, Tom Hurd.
McGee at .353 with 82 RBIs and 56 stolen bases. This year, McGee has 12 steals, and he's been caught 12 times, and that's an awful percentage for a great base stealer like Willie. Here's Tommy Herr. Cardinals have the go-ahead run at first base with no one out. Tommy Herr, another Cardinal, who's really fallen off. Last year drove in over 100 runs. This year has driven in 46. McGee jumps back. McGee did try to steal a base tonight, was thrown out and went in standing up, and you wonder, just coming off the DL after a hamstring pull that sidelined him for a month, would he be trying to slide? We'll see.
Look at that big John McSherry jump around over there, that first base umpire, like a big cat.
And the operative word is big. Inside of Herr in the count 2-0.
My kind of umpire.
And he is a good one, the crew chief. If you had John McSherry and Eric Gregg on the same side of your offensive line, that would be your short yardage area.
I think that the 2 of them and Dave Persley and I ought to form a couple of tag team groups and barnstorm in the offseason.
And it would register on the Richter scale, too. 2-0 on Tommy Herr. McGee.
Japan, their little sumo.
Braves get Ed Olwine up in their bullpen down the left field line. And the pitch outside of Herr. Well, there's Paul Ossenmacher, not Olawar. Ball up in the Braves bullpen. One of those 3 pitches was called a strike, and so the count 2-1. Andy Van Slyke is on deck. No one out, bottom of the 6th. Ball game is tied at 1. Mailer out of the plate. That could be 2, 3, 6, 3 double play. Well done. Horner got the throw quickly down to Ramirez, and Rafi took his time. He had her by a lot. The ball gets to you so quickly on this turf. The Rays pulled the 3-6-3 double play easily.
And Ramirez makes a good play here because he gives Horner a chance. He gets out of the way, avoids McGee, gives Horner a chance to get back to the bag. Still has him by a step.
And with 2, here is Andy Van Slyke. Well, the Buckeyes have kicked a field goal, and after 3 quarters of play, Ohio State 10 and Alabama 6. And the curveball for the strike.
We see Alabama on September the 6th.
Against Vandy, I think.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. Bob Neal, Tim Foley will have it for. Center field, and the 6th inning is history. The Cardinals, no runs on a hit. We have played 6 from St. Louis, and the score: the Braves 1, the Cardinals 1.
Introducing the Canon Sure Shot Supreme. It's so automatic, you can't take a bad shot.
I can take a bad shot, like my backlit shot.
Nope. Sure Shot's Auto Flash corrects backlighting.
My too close shot.
Its autofocus gets you this close.
My no-hand shot. Shot in the dark shot.
With the Sure Shot Supreme, every
My
shot
both eyes closed shot.
a sure shot. And its battery lasts about 5 years.
That's a bad shot.
The new Canon Sure Shot Supreme. So advanced, every shot's a sure shot.
Valvoline presents a blockbuster of epic proportions. The Valvoline Oil Rush, starring Valvoline All Climate and Super HPO with Foregard, Racing Oil, and Valvoline Turbo 5. Excitement! A spectacular money-back offer. Action! Buy 12 quarts, get a $5 rebate from Valvoline. Romance? You'll love our special oils.
I laughed, I cried, I saved $5.
The Valvoline Oil Rush, now playing at a participating store near you.
Hey, Super Football Saturday's gonna get you.
Who? Me?
September 6th. Super Football Saturday's gonna get you.
Who? Me?
The best in college football returns. Hey, Super Football Saturday's gonna get you.
I know.
Super Football Saturday returns to the Superstation September 6th.
Well, hi. At the end of 6, ball game is tied up at 1. And as John Tudor goes to the 7th, he'll face Glenn Hubbard, Rick Mailer, then the top of the order, and Billy Sample. So the ball game tied at 1. We go the final 3 innings, and to carry you along, here's Skip.
Thank you, John. Hubbard is 0 for 2. He slides to left, been called out on strengths. Braves have out hit him 7-4, but where it counts, we're even at 1. Tudor deals a little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Tudor behind in the count again, and that has been his problem tonight, and he certainly has pitched well, but he is not as sharp as he normally is. He's behind 3-0. A walk would doubtless give Mailer a chance to move the runner over. Houston winning big, 6-0 over the Cubs. They're in the 5th. 3-1 to Hubbard. And Tudor's 3-1 about to be made to Glenn Hubbard. Here it is. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch. It's 3-2. Tudor and the kid who pitched last night, Greg Matthews, very similar. They change speeds exceptionally well. The payoff to Hubbard. Got him with a curveball. Hubbard out on strikes. His problems continue. Strikeout number 4 for Tudor.
Tudor continues to change speeds. He has you off stride all the time, and Hubbard way out ahead.
Mailer pops it up to shoot. Tommy Herr wants it in short right center. 2 out. And Billy Sample, the batter. He has popped out and twice walked. Sample gives Mailer a little extra time. Be no telecast of Braves baseball tomorrow night because there's no game. But Friday night we'll be with you at 7:35 from Atlanta. Zane Smith and Scott Sanderson will be the pitchers. Fast strike to Sample outside corner. 0-1. Well hit into right center field. On the run is Morris. He can't get there. He knocks it down, but Sample's in scoring position with 2 outs. See if it's a double or a single or an error. I'd give him a double. Sample went down and got a low slider, it looked like. Now watch more. On sort of an in-between hop, he knocked the ball down, then kneed it away, and they're going to call it a double. Now Whitey Herzog is on his way out. It could be that something is bothering his pitcher, John Tudor, because Gregg is going to accompany Herzog to the mound. If it's a physical problem, this doesn't count as a visit, and further, it would mean that if he has to make a pitching change, the new pitcher would get all the time he needed to warm up. So now Herzog and Tudor and Eric Gregg are going to make a move, and it will be that kind of move. Todd Worrell will come in out of the bullpen. I don't know what Tudor's physical problem is, but he must have one. Worrell, I think, threw 1 warm-up pitch out there. So Tudor is done for the night. He went 6 2/3. Allowed 8 hits, walked 4, struck out the same number. 1 run. And the runner at second base is his responsibility. We'll get word from the press box as to what his problem is, but John Tudor is done for the night, and Todd Worrell will get all the time he needs, which probably won't be that much. Relief pitchers normally get ready in a hurry. We'll be back to tell you about Worrell. By the way, Rafael Ramirez will hit against him with a runner at second, 2 out. We'll be back right after this.
This relief break is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol, because the pitcher is not the only one at the ball game in need of relief.
Tonight, this place will be filled. People will be watching movies and not watching what they're eating. Pretty soon, it'll come back to haunt them.
My tummy hurts.
Mine too. That chili dog.
Don't worry, we've got Pepto at home.
Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, it soothes heartburn and upset stomach, as well as diarrhea.
I thought we left the monster back at the movies.
It's only
Pepto-Bismol. The one that coats is the only one you need.
You can't get much closer to the game than this, unless you're reading this. The Sporting News delivers more baseball coverage than your local paper and all the other sports weeklies and monthlies combined, plus everything you need to know about football, basketball, hockey, and boxing. So why not get the Sporting News and get in the game? Here's how.
You'll get 36 issues of the Sporting News and 2 preview issues for 3 payments of $5.99. Call toll-free 1-800-257-1234. 1-800-257-1234.
You see the numbers on Todd Worrell, boy. He's a good young pitcher. He'll face Ramirez with a runner at second and 2 out. Worrell the work. This is his 61st appearance. He's out of Arcadia, California. Received a Bachelor of Science degree in Christian Education from Biola College in La Mirada, California. An All-America in 1982. Rafael Ramirez will be the batter with a runner at second and 2 out. Ramirez is 2 out of 3, but the one time he failed to hit was in a bases-loaded 1-out situation in the 5th, and he wrapped into a 6-4-3 double play. Quickly in the other baseball, Giants beat the Expos 3-2 this afternoon. Phillies 2-1 over the Dodgers. Steve Bedrosian his 19th save. Tonight, 5-5, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh after 7 now. Houston 5-0 over Chicago at the end of 4. New York and San Diego have not yet started. Toronto won the first of 2 from Cleveland 2-1. They're in the 4th of the second game. Cleveland leads 2-1. White Sox over Kansas City 3-1. Floyd Bannister got the win. In the 7th, Minnesota breezing. In the 5th, Boston and Texas. That's a big game. And Baltimore plays at Seattle a bit later on. So Worrell tells Eric Gregg he's about ready to get it on here. There's Fred Bird, the fun-loving mascot of the St. Louis team.
Fred Bird has some of the same wit and sophistication of Raleigh.
Some
of the same nuances.
Fred Bird has much better legs. Well, here's Ramirez, runner at second, 2 out. $23,887 paid here. Tudor developed some stiffness in his left shoulder, and so he's been given the hook here by Whitey Herzog. Worrell ready to go to work. The big right-hander comes set. Popped up, short right field. Who wants it? Right field, John Morris calls for it. Worrell makes 1 pitch. Ramirez fails, and the inning is over. 1 hit. No runs, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning with your score tied at 1.
Hi, this is Jerry Lewis for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And these are some of my kids visiting the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdale. This year, once again, Anheuser-Busch is pledging over $2 million to muscular dystrophy. So look for these displays wherever you buy Bud and Bud Light. It's your chance to join the fight against muscular dystrophy. And thank you from all of my kids.
Winning's easy. Give 110%, expect 110%. From yourself, everyone, everything. Speed Stick deodorant gives 110%. That's its edge. Why? It has no alcohol, and alcohol evaporates. Speed Stick protection doesn't evaporate even after 24 hours.
Glides on dry in just a few strokes.
That's 110% protection.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
That's your edge.
By Menon.
Well, I got horses coming in and out of here all day long. Mealtime can come differently every day. I get this gnawing in my belly.
Snickers satisfies you.
Nothing satisfies like Snickers. It's a good solid snack.
Packed with peanuts, peanut butter nougat, caramel, and milk chocolate. Mmm.
Snickers satisfies you.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
When I'm feeling hungry, Snickers is one thing I know I can count on to satisfy me.
Tonight, Superstar Summer continues with Burt Lancaster in the story of an against-the-odds athlete's rise to fame. Jim Thorpe, All-American, 11:05 Eastern on the Superstation tonight.
Go to the bottom half of the 7th inning here. Rick Mailer will try to keep the Cardinals from having a big inning. Terry Pendleton will lead it off. It will be Pendleton, Morris, and Smith, the first 3. Pendleton has been called out on strikes, and he has bounced to second. 1-1 is our score. Houston now has increased its lead to 6-0 in the 5th over Chicago. Our ticker tape up here in the booth has gone on the blink, so we're struggling when it comes to getting the scores to you. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch. Outside, it's 2-0. That's right through there, 2-1. You got to keep your eye on Eric Gregg. Boy, he changes up on you. Sometimes he leans to the right and calls strike. Sometimes he crosses over his body, goes to the left. The 2-1 pitch, here it is. Swung line to center, but Murphy is there. No problem, 1 up. Pendleton hit it hard, but out, and here's John Morris.
Right fielder John Morris.
Morris has walked and struck out. Tried to stop, couldn't. 0-1. Morris struck out in a big spot back in the 4th. Runner at 3rd, 1 out. He's a good-looking young player, though. Another off-speed pitch, and he's quickly in the hole. 0-2. Mailer is clicking on all cylinders tonight. He's allowed the Cardinals just 4 hits. They got their run in the 1st. Missed outside with the fastball. To be effective, Rick has to pitch inside some of the time. Tonight he's done that. He did there. Had the hitter out in front. Morris pulled it foul. Pitchers get into bad habits just like announcers and hitters and anybody else. And when you pitch outside all the time, boy, those hitters are leaning across that plate, get their arms extended, and they'll wear you out. Fastball, a little pop. Hubbard in short right center. He's there. 2 down. Ozzie Smith, the batter. Mailer continues to weave his web here.
Shortstop, Ozzie Smith.
Smith has reached on a fielder's choice, and he has flied to center. Cardinals got their run in the 1st with 1 out. McGee doubled to left. Herr walked. Van Slyke singled. And that's been the extent of their attack, really. A leadoff double in the 4th came to nothing. A leadoff single in the 6th met the same fate. Here they're 2 out, nobody on. Catcher Steve Lake waits to hit next. The 3-1 to Ozzie. That's out of play down the left side. Griffey gives it a look, but has no shot. A payoff pitch is due Ozzie Smith. President of the baseball writers, Jerry Fraley, just had himself paged in the press box.
Well, that kind of thing happens a lot.
Up the middle, that's going to get through. Ozzie popped one up the middle. Steve Lake is the batter. He has struck out twice, both times looking.
Catcher Steve Lake.
Minnesota 7-2 over Milwaukee after 6.5. Blake is homerless for the year. Todd Worrell moves on deck. Ground ball to short should end the inning. Ramirez to Hubbard, and it's over. No problem in the 7th. The pitcher due to lead off the 8th. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, 1 left. We go to the 8th inning, all tied, 1-1.
This is where it begins. Anywhere there's moisture, there's the chance of catching athlete's foot. This is where it ends. Mycotin. Only Mycotin cures athlete's foot with myconazole, a medically proven ingredient that eliminates athlete's foot. This is where athlete's foot begins. This is where it ends. Mycotin, the end of athlete's foot.
Ah, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Powerful, urgent. Just one of the great masterpieces in the Golden Classics. The finest musicians in Europe and America have contributed to the Golden Classics. Much of this great music was adapted later with modern lyrics. How many can you identify? All of these great masterpieces are now affordable in 4 records or 4 cassettes for only $19.95. Have your credit card ready. Here's how to order your Golden Classics.
Call 1-800-257-1234. That's 1-800-257-1234. Or send $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Golden Classics, P.O. Box 7500, Atlanta, Georgia. No CODs accepted.
Following Braves baseball, stay with the Superstation. Next, Burt Lancaster portrays an American Indian who rose to fame as a great athlete in Jim Thorpe, All-American. Next.
Murphy, Horner, and Griffey lead off the 8th inning. This would appear to be the Braves' best shot at scoring. Todd Worrell on the mound. Murphy ripped a 2-run double off the center field wall against him on Monday night to provide the margin of victory for the Atlanta team. And later in that inning, Ken Griffey homered. Worrell can bring it up there in great fashion, though. He's a hard-throwing right-hander. Monday, he got ahead of Murphy with sliders, and then got a fastball over the outside part of the plate, and Murph really crushed it. He's tripled off the center field wall tonight. That didn't miss by much. 1 ball, no strikes. Right through there, fastball, 1-1. Counts 1-1, and so's the score. We're in the 8th. Murphy out of the batter's box now. Worrell has struck out 56 in 83 innings. That's a surprisingly low number. He just missed it. High fly ball into center field. Willie McGee has it 1 away.
Well, today in the West, the Giants won. Houston winning big at home against the Cubs. The Reds were down 4-0 in their ball game against the Pirates. They tied it up, and in the 9th inning, Eric Davis has hit a grand slam. So the Reds now lead 9-5 in the 9th.
It would behoove the Braves to get a win here. Bob Horner bats with 1 out. Breaking ball is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Horner doubled home the Atlanta run. Back in the 6th. Activity will begin in the Atlanta bullpen. Fastball is low, and it's 3-0. Gene Garber will go to work. And it looks like he'll have some left-handed company out there. Fastball up and in, and the go-ahead run is at first with one out as Horner draws a Worrell walk. Griffey is singled, struck out, flied to center. Another left-hand hitter, Ken Oberkfell, moves on deck. Horner edges away at first. Griffey fouls the fastball off, 0-1. The final now, Cincinnati beat the Pirates 9-5 on the Davis homer. Horner is short lead at first. Fastball missed outside to even the count at 1-1. Paul Ossenmacher has joined Garber in the Atlanta bullpen. Again, the left-hand hitter stands in there. High and away, 2-0. Rather 2-1, excuse me. Fouled back, another fastball. So it's even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mets with Dwight Gooden lead San Diego 5-0 after 2. Ed Whitson 1-6 going in is going to be 1-7 going out in all likelihood. The 2-2. Fouled another pitch away.
And boy, that's how to play on the West Coast. The Mets won 3 straight in L.A., 2 out of 3 in San Francisco. And if they win tonight, giving Gooden a 5-0 lead, you got a pretty good chance they would sweep the series in San Diego and go 8-1 on a 9-game West Coast trip.
Again, the 2-2 about to be made to Ken Griffey. Fly ball foul. Worrell ready again. He's a very deliberate workman. He's got a runner at first, 1 out, and a 2-2 on a tough hitter, Ken Griffey. Fastball, there's the double play, almost cinched. Oh, he beat the wrap at first. Ozzie seemed to get a little tangled up coming across the bag. He doesn't throw with the velocity he once had, though he does unload in a hurry, and Griffey, with his good speed, beat the wrap.
It takes a high hop to her, who got it over to Ozzie. Pretty good takeout slide by Horner. Ozzie flips it as he came over the top of Horner, and Griffey, though, really gets down the line, almost like he did in the old days. He has done everything well as a Brave in his 2 months, including, by the way, 7 out of 9 stolen bases.
And he might test Steve Lake here. He faked it. Pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. I think he was going and didn't get a good break and stopped, but he took about 3 steps and then just screeched to a halt. Worrell chases him back. Again. Seattle got 4 in the first, and they laid Baltimore 4-0. ball high and away. And the count is even at 1-1. The scoreboard has it 2-0. Eric Gregg can't get him to change it, but 1-1 is the count. Closer, but Griffey is back. There he goes. Pitch high, Lake's throw. Got it. Good play by Tommy Hurd. Lake's throw wasn't that good, but he unloaded it in a hurry, and nothing doing in the eighth for Atlanta. You'll see it again as we go away. On the short hop, Hurd came up, and they nailed Griffey, and we go to the bottom of the eighth, 1-1.
Give me a light. A Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Case of light? No, Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
A Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else
Thanks.
is just a light.
There is a power for high-performance engines, a power that forces its way through clogged fuel injectors and keeps them open. A power that makes sure when you hit the pedal, you get performance. The power is Shell SU-2000 Super Unleaded Gasoline, and it is unstoppable.
Thursday, Superstar Summer continues with Mickey Rooney. He's one of those hell-raising, womanizing wild westerners, the cockeyed cowboys of Calico County. Then, welcome to Texas.
You know what Texas means?
Yeah, it means trouble for Gary Cooper.
Colin, get that dude!
Dallas, right after the cockeyed cowboys of Calico County, beginning at 8:05 Eastern on the Superstation Thursday night.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Todd Worrell is hitting 167, and he'll bat for himself here as we go to the bottom of the eighth. Worrell, Coleman, and McGee against Rick Mailer.
And this is the great argument for not having the designated hitter. There are arguments on both sides.
Fast strike, outside corner.
Because if you have the DH, you don't have the decision. You can keep Todd Worrell in the game as long as you want. But Whitey Herzog is not having the pinch hitter. He wants to keep Worrell in the game.
Tried to bunt his way on, fouled it off. Worrell is in the hole, 0-2. Garber and Ossenmacher continue to labor in the Atlanta pen.
And in the next inning, let's say it's a tie ball game and the Braves have 2 outs and a guy at first base. Then Chuck Tanner has to decide, does he want to keep Mailer in the game or does he want to pinch hit for him?
The 0-2 pitch, here it is. Started to go, held up on the curve. A ball and 2 strikes. Fine outing for Rick Mailer. But he needs one more run to get himself a win. We're all knotted. Strike 3 called, curveball. Worrell is called out on strikes. Mailer records his 6th. Now here's the key, perhaps, to the inning, Vince Coleman. If you can keep him off base, then you like your chances of getting out of this inning. Coleman, McGee, and Herr, the next 3. There's 1 out here. And we're in the bottom of the 8th. Into center field. On comes Murphy. On comes Murphy. Can't get there. Well, Bruce Benedict better oil it up because he's going to have a chance to use that throwing arm in all likelihood. Here's Here's where the Cardinals can drive you to distraction. The Coleman and McGee show. Will they hit and run? Will they just let McGee hit away? Or will they turn Coleman loose? He's 87 out of 97 on the year. McGee, a perfect night. The 2 hits and a walk. It bounces away. There goes the runner without a play. Wild pitch. And you best not lose track of him now because he's liable to take off for third. And again, it's no knock on Mailer, but he puts so much pressure on you. It's hard to concentrate 100% on the pitch to the plate because out of the corner of your eye, you're expecting him to disappear. That's no stolen base, just a wild pitch, and that's the go-ahead run at second with 1 out. They're going to put McGee on to set up the double play. Tommy Herr is 0 for 2 with a walk. Hubbard stands on second base so that Coleman can't get a running jump and steal third as Mailer lobs it to the plate. So Herr is the batter. Benedict talks it over with Mailer. 2 on, 1 out. 2 left-hand hitters, Herr, who's a switch hitter, and Van Slyke. Herr wrapped into a double play his last time. A year ago, over 100 RBIs. This year, just 46. Our statistician, Hal Galima, tells us that Vince Coleman has swiped third base 24 times in 27 tries. Mailer to Herr. High chop. Corner fields it in fair territory. Mailer covers, and runners are at second and third. Herr argues that the ball was foul. Whitey Herzog will come out as well, but they're at second and third. Rich Hacker argues too, the Cardinal first base coach.
John McSherry signaled fair all the way. I think the ball went over the bag fair, and I think it also, this is with the naked eye, I thought the ball came down and hit the stripe. I'm not sure of anything, but I'm almost sure that the Braves will. We're going to see the replay of the ground ball. Let's see where it lands. It's where it goes over the bag.
That's obviously a fair ball.
And McSherry thought it went over the bag fair. Anyway, I would think that Chuck Tanner will have Mailer walk Van Slyke, who's a very good lefty hitter, and make Pendleton hit left-handed. Pendleton not hitting for a very high average left-handed. The runners, of course, moved up, so the second and third anyway. The only thing it does is it forces then Mailer to throw strikes to Pendleton.
If, in fact, it's Pendleton who comes to the plate. But first, let's see what they do with Van Slyke. They will put him on. Pendleton came into the game hitting just .218 left-handed, and that's the way he hit the course against Mailer. Bases loaded is the situation we're about to see with 2 outs. Cardinals don't have much offense, and they really don't have a pinch-hitting specialist that they could utilize in this spot. It's going to be Pendleton against Mailer. With the bases bases loaded. And 2 out. And the ball game, perhaps, in the balance. Tonight, Pendleton has struck out, bounced out, and lined up. Called out on strikes, bounced to second, and in the 7th, lined hard to Murphy. Naylor off the line. Strike. 0-1. I'm a little surprised he's pitching off the line with Coleman at third. 1-1 is our score. Bases loaded, 2 out. We're in the 8th inning. Inside. And I'll tell you what, Terry Pendleton right there would not have minded at all if that pitch had brushed his uniform. And that's why managers love guys like this. He's ready to take one for the team. You have to make it look like you're trying to get out of the way. And he did that, and it just missed him. A ball and a strike. Coleman tries to draw a balk. Naylor will have none of that. The 1-1. Chased a bad ball. A ball and 2 strikes. So Naylor has him set up here. Looked like Pendleton lost that protector he uses on a badly jammed thumb. And he gets himself back together. The 1-2, here it is. Just missed inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Naylor really wanted that pitch, and the Atlanta dugout is storming at Eric Gregg. They thought they had the strikeout, but Eric said no.
They might have ruled it high. I thought it had the plate. It did have the plate.
Boy, pretty good pitch.
Boy, Chuck Canna was up on the steps yelling at Eric Gregg, and this is the big pitch from Naylor.
And the 2-2. Bases loaded, 2 out. It's full now, and you got the merry-go-round, 3-2. No doubt about that one. Coleman, McGee, and Van Slyke will all start as Naylor starts his wind. You get the feeling this might be the ball game right here. There they go, 3-2. Inside, and a run is up. Naylor wanted that pitch, too, but Eric Gregg wouldn't give it to him. Had never walked in a run in his life. I'll tell you this, there were 2 pitches there. I don't know how Pendleton took them, but he did.
And so the St. Louis rally, comprised of the pop fly single by Coleman, the wild pitch moved him to second. They intentionally walked McGee. The bounce out moved him up. They intentionally walked her. And then the 3-2 pitch to Pendleton is a tad inside, and that's the anatomy of a Cardinal run.
Well, the Braves still have a chance, but they got to get Morris. 0-1. Naylor is really upset, and he never shows emotion. I'll say this, the 3-2 pitch I have less argument with than the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. That looked perfect. Now Morris steps out. 0-1 the count. Bases still loaded. It's 2-1 St. Louis. Curve popped him up short right field. On comes Sample. He's there, and the inning is over. But St. Louis didn't exactly beat him to death, but they got a run. They did it on 1 hit, and they left 3. We go to the 9th. Last chance for the Braves. We go to the 9th inning. Ken Obergfell will lead it off. There's Chuck Tanner, and just to his left, well, just leaving the see now is a is Rick Mailer. Boy, is he steaming. He pitched a great ball game. There's Rick. He was perched on the top dugout step. Not saying much, but really disheartened with the way the bottom of the 8th went, and you really can't blame him. Well, Oberkfell leads it off here. Fastball outside. Todd Worrell has a chance to get himself a win. In football, Alabama came from behind, beat Ohio State 16-10 in the kickoff classic. Outside 2-0. That looked like a pretty good pitch, too. Omar Moreno is on deck. There's a strike, 2-1. Low, 3-1. A walk puts the tying run aboard. Right in there, 3-2. No argument about that one. Full count. And the payoff pitch to Oberkfell. Line drive, right field, base hit. Like a shot. There's the tying run aboard with nobody out. Activity now in the Cardinal bullpen, and left-hander up and working. Ricky Horton getting ready. Now Moreno is announced here. Let's see how the Braves play it. Moreno bats for Benedict. There's Horton. Chris Chambliss moves on deck. Ted Simmons is waiting in the wings as well. Speaking of left-hand hitters, Gerald Perry hit his 10th home run of the year tonight for Richmond. Is Moreno bunting? Yes. Look at Pendleton. Out at second base. What a play he made. That was not that bad a bunt. It's so tough on the AstroTurf, and Pendleton charged like a man possessed. And they got the force. Ozzie Smith took the throw. He bunted it high, and look where Pendleton had gotten to. No contest at second base. That's a good bunt. It really is. Not a great bunt, but normally plenty good enough. Not this time. Thanks to the aggressive play by the Cardinal third baseman. Here's Chambliss.
Number 10, Chris Chambliss.
The question is, if you're Chuck Tanner, would you let Moreno gamble and try to steal to get in the scoring position? Ted Simmons moves on deck. Worrell to the plate. At the knee. 0-1. Rick Mailer, they say, walked in the go-ahead run here. He had never done it before in his life. And 2. Worrell just reached back and played Powder River on Chambliss. That's his first strikeout. Moving away from the left-hand hitter, and it had a hop to it. Chambliss swung under it, and it's all up to Ted Simmons. Mailer went 8 allowed, 6 hits, 2 runs. 1 wild pitch, struck out 6, walked 5. Boy, he pitched his best ball in a long, long time. Simmons gets a warm reception here. He was a great star for many years for the Cardinals. High and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Billy Sample due next. Braves have Harper, Virgil, and Thomas remaining. throw at first with 2 out. Worrell gets a new baseball from Eric Gregg. Gene Garber throwing in the Atlanta bullpen just in case. Simmons would love nothing better than to touch one off here against his former mate. Still makes his home here. Bounce to second. That should do it. Hurd to first. And the Cardinals win the rubber game. Whoa, what a tough, tough loss for Rick Mailer. And for the Braves, 1 hit, no runs. Now there's 1 left. Cardinals win it 2-1. Totals and highlights after this.